Hey guys, Ralph here, and welcome to True Power Health on this sensational Sunday here in Connecticut. Life's good, guys. Life's good. Eating your fruits and vegetables, doing your kettlebell, good. This one, I'm going to make it short and sweet. I'm just going to put my thoughts out there. This does not come under the heading of health and fitness, but as you know, I talk about sports a lot and sports fitness and all this sort of stuff, and this absolutely does. Hang on just a second. Let me get I'm losing my battery. Bingo. All right. This does come under the heading of sports for sure, and that you saw the thumbnail. Scottie Scheffler. I'm sorry, guys. If what happened is what's coming out on the news, if that is accurate, I don't know if it is, and I'll get to that in a second. If that is accurate, he deserves every single thing he got. Okay? Now, Scottie, let me preface. I don't know Scottie Scheffler. I don't know anything other than the public persona. And he comes off in the public persona as a tremendously humble, soft-spoken, terrific young man. Okay? I can say young man because I'm old enough to be his father. And I'm going to reserve judgment that is the Scottie Scheffler that we all know. But even a wonderful young man can screw up. And from what we've heard by the police, he screwed up. Now, Scottie himself has, and his lawyer and everything, have taken the stance that he can't comment on what happened because of the ongoing investigation and legal issues. Okay, that is their stance. But they warned us to say it is not as cut and dry as what the police said he did. Okay, I'll take him for that too. When the dust settles, this will probably turn into absolutely nothing. Okay, I'll explain that on the end. But what we got from the police, outside the PGA tournament, now if you don't know who Scottie Scheffler is, he's the number one ranked player in the world. He's a tremendous golfer. The heir to Tiger Woods' throne at this moment. And again, seems like a very, very nice guy. He's white. There are no racial overtones of racism or anything. Okay, so just get that off the table. But he's going, this took place at, I believe, 6 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning. Okay, he's trying to get to the course to warm up, and he had an earlier, like a 10-something tee time. Okay, now, if you don't make your tee time in all PGA events, you are immediately disqualified. All right? Okay. So all of a sudden, a man that was working as a vendor at the tournament itself got struck by a car and was killed. And all that entailed, all the traffic going up to one of the biggest tournaments of the year was come to a screeching halt. Now, Scottie, the number one player in the world, who was in contention at the time, who was no longer in contention, okay, is worried about making his tee time. This was on Saturday morning, okay? It was Friday morning. Friday morning, okay? And what he did was, from what we are told, he went around a police blockade, was driving up on the side of the road, refused to comply with police officers who was trying to stop him, okay? And a police officer got hurt in him trying to do that, had to be rushed to the hospital. So they finally stopped him. They took him out of the car and slammed him up against the car and put him in handcuffs. He deserves every bit of it. If that's what happened, he deserves every bit of it. All right? Now, if calmer heads prevail, let's just think about this. Now, this is the number one golfer in the world who I'm taking for granted has access to a cell phone. All right, now the number one golfer in the world can get to the tournament organizer. Can speak to him personally. He's not going to get anybody's secretary. He can get to him personally and say, look, I'm sitting out here in traffic. You know what's going on. Look, under the circumstances, the tournament director is not going to disqualify the #1 player in the world because of extenuating circumstances, because of a death. Nothing's going to happen. They're going to say, just sit tight. We'll take care of it when everybody gets here. Now, some of the other golfers that were in the same thing literally abandoned their cars, took their clubs, their clothes, and everything, and walked the couple miles to the tournament. No problem. Scottie could have done that. Okay? Scottie, a guy's dead. Your tee time doesn't really take precedence there. Now, I understand it's important to you, and I understand you probably got a little frazzle. All right? But here's the worst case scenario for Scottie. Heaven forbid. Now, this is not going to happen because of what I just said. The extenuating circumstances, they're not disqualifying anybody. This isn't Scottie's fault. He was not negligent in being late. This is, shit happens sometimes. This is what this comes under. Now, what I'm about to say would not have happened. But if it did, the worst case scenario, is that, heaven forbid, Scottie got disqualified. Everybody else made it except you. Oh, boo-hoo, Scottie. A man is lying there dead and you got disqualified? I know that's important to you and your sponsors and all that sort of stuff. But that's the worst case scenario. And as I said before, there's not a chance in hell that's happening. The real world, it's not happening. The event, everybody needs Scottie Scheffler there. And under the circumstances, they could come out with some ruling, blah, blah, blah. All right? That's what's going to happen. So under the no. And I can honestly say, and if I were in the same position, I'm not sure if I would have freaked out a little bit and gone around the blockade, blah, blah, blah. But a policeman got seriously hurt. He's not on death's door, but he had to get rushed to the hospital because of you. And I'm sorry, man, that doesn't deserve special attention. If that's actually what happened, I'm not sure that it is. If that's what happened, now I'm sure there's some tweaks in there, as is his lawyer, but the cops are not going to completely change the story of what happened. It's not going to happen. Now, Scottie's a good guy. He's got a brand new baby. This was important to him. He was on a roll. He had won the Masters, the first 2 legs of the PGA, blah, blah, blah. I get it. There's a lot on the line for him professionally. But this is not some guy had a flat tire and no, there was a man dead lying there. And yes, you sit there and you get in touch with the people, or you can walk like everybody else, some other people did. You get in touch with the people. Look, this is what's happening. I'm not negligent here. What's going to happen? You can get your agent on it. You can do whatever you want. But no, he did not act rationally. And considering, I'm taking for granted, again, I don't know Scottie Scheffler, but I'm taking for granted he has no prior issues with police, with public intoxication. There was none of that. He is going to get a slap on the wrist. He's not going to do jail time for this. He's just not. So that's that. That's my thoughts on the subject. If you think differently, let me know. Give me comments and criticisms. Scottie, you're screwed up. And nobody is going to think less of you for doing it. All right, guys, have a great day. Love you all.